How did Latin become a dead language? Do you speak Latin? Chances are you do. Even if you disagree, you have spoken a countless number of Latin language words if you speak any international language. The influence of this ancient language is obvious in many modern languages, but I have never seen anyone in my time speaking Latin fluently. It has died out since. How did Latin become a dead language? Gone are those days when Latin was the official language in the entire Roman Empire. When the Catholic Church was so influential in ancient Rome, the Latin language was the king of the world, the language of international communication, education, science, and government. So, how did Latin become a dead language when it was so influential several centuries ago? Though now considered a dead language, it's still being used in certain contexts. Of course, it no longer has a native speaker, yet rather than consider it dead, look into English, French, Italian, Portuguese, Romanian, and Spanish to see the metamorphosis of Latin. You'll see its grammar, tenses, and intricacies in these languages. So, how did such an influential language die? One undisputable reason is the fate of the empire that develops the language. When the Roman Empire failed, Latin died and new languages were born from the former territories of the Western Roman Empire where the language was developed. The struggle for power in the Middle Age and through the centuries moved new nations to focus on developing their unique official languages. They considered national languages an ingredient of nationalism sweeping across Europe. The dwindling influence of the Roman Catholic Church in Europe and the rise of Protestantism also contributed a great deal. There was a time the church and state were Siamese twins, with the church wielding a strong influence on national and international politics. And remember, Latin was the official language of the church and was revered as a divine tongue. But the Protestants and Reformers braved persecution and exposed the church. They translated the Bible into fledgling languages and whittled down the influence of Latin, in which the scriptures were preserved for centuries, and that of the clergy by enlightening the laity. Another reason is the nature of the language. Were Hebrew and Aramaic not as old or even older than Latin? But Latin is an incredibly complex language. Grammarians digging into ancient languages have had a hard time learning and teaching Latin. They tried in vain to resuscitate it. Let me spare you the intricacies of the very complex and grammar-intensive classical Latin and a less complex vulgar Latin being used in villages and by masses until the end of the 6th century. While this simpler version was being used in the street, the classic Latin was strictly official, confined to classrooms, government offices, the church. Soon the commoners abandoned it and stuck to the vulgar Latin, the language of the commoners. About the dawn of the 7th century, people from different sections of the Roman Empire could no longer understand one another, even when both groups claimed to be using Latin. These are some of the major reasons why Latin died. There could be other reasons that you know. Some don't even agree that Latin died. We would like to hear your opinion in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.